So I'm very excited right now to introduce my colleague, Sandy Sohcot, and oh my gosh, forgive me for pronouncing your last name incorrectly. Um, so Sandy is the director and originator of The World as It Is.
No, no.
Sorry, The World as It Could Be. I spilled coffee over all my notes about 10 minutes ago if you saw me scurrying around my desk. So Sandy is the director and originator of The World as It Could Be Human Rights Education Program. And I'm not going to cut her bio short because I really want everybody to know about her amazing work and the foundation of what she's going to speak upon. So Sandy holds a California lifetime teaching credential. In July 2001, Sandy became the executive director of the Rex Foundation and served as in that capacity through 2013 to help renew the foundation in the absence of direct Grateful Dead concert funding. In 2006, as part of her work, Sandy developed the World as It Could Be initiative to raise awareness about the human rights framework. The initial work evolved to become a full program with curriculum that involves the creative arts as a vital part of the teaching about the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Since January 2014, Sandy has been the director of TWA-ICB, now a program of the Alameda County Deputy Sheriff's Activities League. Sandy has been active in the small business and women's communities of San Francisco. She co-founded the Women's Leadership Alliance and is past president of the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of the National Association of Women Business Owners. In July 1999, the San Francisco Commission and the Status of Women honored Sandy with their Women Who Work Make a Difference award. Sandy served as a commissioner on the San Francisco Human Rights Commission 2004 to 2008. And if I can add, I know Sandy by her incredible work with USA Human Rights Educators. And although that it's not on that list, it's been amazing to work with Sandy and hear about what she's doing and her support for human rights programming for young people for so long. So Sandy, thank you. And I pass the mic over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate such a great introduction, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to now share my screen to help introduce what our program is about. So give me just a moment to make sure I'm doing this all correctly. Let's see. Go here. Hold on just a second. Me and my let's see, why is this happening? Uh, there we go. Does everybody see that? Can you hear me? Ooh.
Sandy, do you want to make it full screen?
Yes, I'm going to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear
All
you.
right.
And it looks great.
Okay. Now let's go. Where are we here? Where's my little full screen? uh, I can't see my full screen. Well, may have to live with it as it is because I'm struggling with, let's see. There we go. Okay, here we go. Full screen. Okay. Well, thank you for this opportunity to present at Finding Hope in Times of Despair. I hope that learning about the World as It Could Be human rights education program will offer a source of hope. This is what we have found in the last 18 years, which is kind of hard for me to believe. So what I'm going to do is explain a little bit about how I got into this work and then what the program's about. I'll share some video excerpts so you can see what we're talking about, and hope that this will inspire you to take part in all that we do. The World as It Could Be, we started in 2006, and our overall aim is to bring attention to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a vehicle for positive social change, to bring about equality, equity, justice, and dignity to all people. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and just as a very brief intro to it, came out of World War II and the horrors of it, when the United Nations was set up, and Eleanor Roosevelt was charged with leading a group to develop a framework that all member nations could agree to, that would make it possible for the world to live without war and to have peaceful problem solving. And on December 10th, 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the General Assembly, and it stands as customary law, has led to lots of treaties that have been enforceable, and is a main foundation of human rights activities and human rights law. So just to have that as a background. How I got into this is I was executive director of the Rex Foundation, which you already heard. That was started by the rock and roll group, the Grateful Dead. I hope some of you are familiar with who they are. They were a very popular rock and roll band, and Dead and Company continue to bring their music forward, as do other many cover bands. They had started the Rex Foundation in 1983 to make relatively small grants to grassroots programs. I came in to bring the foundation back up into a fully active state after the lead guitarist, Jerry Garcia, had died and the band couldn't perform. So as part of my job, I was trying to reach out to a greater community and beyond the world of what are commonly known, as I am myself, a deadhead. And so I often was asked, why do you make grants in so many different areas? It just seems like you have no focus. And I decided I would try to answer that by also raising awareness about the human rights framework that I had learned about in some of my women's activities in the community. So I wrote a newsletter called Perspectives on Being Human. And the idea was to explain that the Rex Foundation was making grants in so many areas because we were really furthering human rights. I included the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in that, and I should say it's not just me, my editor, Ellen Trist, who helped make sure that that was in there. And what I basically explained, that the goal of the Rex Foundation, one of our goals, was to be a catalyst for positive social change. And I wanted to show off that the human rights framework was and the Universal Declaration was a vibrant part of that effort. So then after I published the newsletter, I wanted to bring it to life and do more than just have this paper product. And we had just moved our office to the Presidio in San Francisco, that a lot of nonprofits had offices at. And I wanted to involve youth. I wanted to showcase our grants. And so I went to the San Francisco Mime Troupe Youth Theater Project, a grantee of ours, and asked if they would help dramatize with their youth the meaning of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And they said they would, and they recommended 2 other arts-based groups to be involved. And I raised some money to commission an original production that would involve high school youth. The name of our production came about because one of the adults reading the Universal Declaration said, wow, I didn't know this document existed. And it basically spells out the world as it could be. And so our first production was called The World as It Could Be, a Declaration of Human Rights. We had a performance troupe of about 17 high school youth. The bulk of them came from the Destiny Arts Center performance troupe, and others were poets from Youth Speaks and from the Mime Troupe Youth Theater Project. On December 7th, the youth presented this presentation at the Presidio, and on December 8th, they presented at Balboa High School in San Francisco to an audience of 1,200 students and all the teachers and administrators. And here's a scene from that production.
Whereas we write the words of that booklet in our sweat, sign it with our muscles, dreams manifest.
A document that lives and breathes because of your dreams, because of your insistence that we must be free. I am a document of speech and belief and freedom from fear and want that has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people, that human rights should be protected by the rule of law. I am not only a document, I am the document. The document among infinite others who try to speak out about their rights. But I don't just speak it, I act because I believe I am the rights, I am the contract, and I am the document.
I have the right to respect others. I have the right to be creative.
I have the right to question everything.
I have the right to love being black.
I have the right to grow.
I have the right to party. I have the right to lift my voice.
I have the right to love and hate. I have the right to be short. I have the right to be educated. I have the right to be independent. I have the right to smile.
I have the right to learn.
I have the right to give.
I have the right to live without fear.
I have the right to equality.
I have the right to be free.
So, I've seen that so many times. I still enjoy watching it, and that 40-minute production changed everything. As you could hear, the audience was very engaged, and we could see that something was going on. And in 2000, the next year, 2007, I commissioned yet one more production. I wrote a newsletter about political will and the idea of what do we need to exert the political will to make the changes that we want. And we commissioned the Destiny Arts Center Performance Troupe to create an original performance around what it would take to exert the will to manifest the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we called it the world as it could be, where there's a will, there's a way. And we once again presented this at Balboa High School, and once again had quite a tremendous experience among the youth as well as the teachers. And here is just a brief, here's some video of how the youth that performed experienced this process.
I'm Gianna, I am 17, I go to Berkeley High.
I will pick up trash, even if it isn't mine.
That's taking responsibility for the planet.
I'm Marcio, I'm 15, and I'm on independent study.
I will make a conscious effort to speak my mind regardless of what others will think or say.
I'm Rose, I'm 16, and I go to Berkeley High.
I have been taught since the age of birth to sit behind a desk and listen.
It was really empowering, but not in a condescending way. We were giving them a tangible way to see how their rights could be manifested, and that was really beautiful because we were up there dancing, singing, rapping, speaking speaking, poetry that all the people in the audience were capable of doing, and we were just kind of showing them that they were allowed to do that and that was a positive way for them to kind of embrace their rights.
I'm Dewan, I'm 17, and I'm on Independence Day.
I am a document.
A document that embodies freedom, justice, peace, you know what I'm saying?
I am Emerald, I'm 17, and I go to St. Mary's College High School.
I will take responsibility for my mistakes.
It's a kind of common thing to say. Actually, it's uncommon. It's not common enough. No one says it. And I was really proud to be able to say that line. And I believe that no matter what place I may hold, there is something that can be done to improve any situation.
I'm Javier, I'm 17, I go to Lionel Wilson College Preparatory Academy. I will educate
the youth who look to me as a leader.
I really embrace that line because I feel like that is a line that I really live up to every day.
I'm Imelda. I'm almost 16 in April 23rd.
I will buy food from local farmers.
And I chose it for two reasons. One, to help the planet. And the second one was because both my parents are undocumented and my mom was a farmer.
So what you saw with this particular performance, one of the things that the youth learned was, or to think about, was how to carry out minute actions that even a very, what might seem like a fairly ordinary idea of picking up plastic bottles and recycling them, but each of these minute actions could make a difference. So what happened, I actually had never planned to go beyond even the first presentation, but what we saw in the course of these two productions was, number one, none of the adults or youth knew about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And yet, especially when the youth learned about it, they said, wow, this is really something I could fight for. This is incredible. When the youth were watching their peers perform on stage, they were totally engaged, watching carefully and cheering, as you heard, or just really taken in by what they saw. And the youth that were the performers had this transformational experience about being the teachers. They were the ones, in fact, Dewan, who you saw at one Q&A session where he was praised for his work, he said, well, I'm glad that we could teach you, but weren't you adults supposed to know about this? And so this was quite a remarkable opportunity. The fact that the UDHR is this framework that people ought to know about as a vehicle for positive change, and yet we learned in our work that we began to collaborate with the University of San Francisco's Human Rights Education department, that only in a recent survey, only 10% of the US population even knew it existed. The Universal Declaration is supposed to be taught in high school, and in California, it's supposed to be taught in the 11th grade and can be taught in other grades. Yet clearly, that was not happening. And one of the other special learnings from this is that the creative arts played a critical role in helping youth grasp and embody these concepts that were put out by the UDHR. And yet at that time, the budget for arts was either being slashed or eliminated in public schools. And so myself, along with some of the people involved in supporting the program and involved from Balboa High School, we got together and said, we have an opportunity to do something, and that we could actually develop curriculum that could demonstrate the importance of the arts as part of learning academic subjects, and that we could deepen learning about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so we began a piloting of curriculum, working with Balboa High School and another high school in the East Bay near Oakland, Arroyo High School, to develop this curriculum. And in 2010, we published the curriculum, and in collaboration with the International Multicultural Department of the University of San Francisco, we began presenting 3-day institutes on using our curriculum, because we knew that educators and nonprofit leaders had to learn about the Universal Declaration and had to learn about how to integrate the creative arts. And we were doing these institutes every year until, of course, that wonderful pandemic that we've all had affect our lives came along. But nonetheless, our curriculum, which we update every year, is up there and ready for use at any time. And then in 2013, well, I had an opportunity to look at how we might develop an after-school rite of passage program. The Alameda County Deputy Sheriff's Activities League, which is actually run by my daughter, Hillary, was instrumental in having a $25 million youth center opened in an unincorporated part of Alameda County. And so in 2014, I moved over to DSAL with the World as It Could Be program. I left the Rex Foundation, which is doing wonderfully under my successor. And in fact, we then developed a 9-month through school year after school rite of passage in collaboration with the REACH Center. REACH stands for Recreation, Education, the Arts, Career, and Health. We called our program The World as It Could Be is Within Reach. And we implemented that in January of 2015. And here is just a very brief snippet from that experience.
I feel definitely more empowered to step up and to really speak my mind.
Through the rites of passage, I've discovered a lot more about myself than I never actually knew about myself.
I like learning different languages. Pretty much been b-boying since I was like 16. And then martial arts is a big part of it.
It's been an amazing experience, actually. I really enjoyed being in the rites of passage.
Oh my gosh! Put me in a coffin.
Sohcot. Nice.
My name is Brett.
Yes. My name is Brooklyn. Yes. So that's what you want to do. 1, 2, 3.
Reach!
What the students were learning is why elements like recreation, education, art, career, and health was vital to their own healthy development, but also vital to a healthy community. And so this rite of passage was teaching youth using the UDHR as a framework about what it means to be part of a healthy community and how to play an active role in making that happen. We presented, the students did present a culminating presentation after their 9 months meeting once a week. And we moved the program over to Arroyo High School in 2017 under the leadership of a teacher there, where again, we got to do it for 3 more years before the pandemic hit. And in the course of these rites of passage, the youth have done things like identify issues like girls being humiliated when they needed to use the bathroom because they had their menstruation cycle happening. And that program worked out into developing a program of not only creating a poster that taught the school about what healthy menstruation means, but also to have free products in every room. That is still going on. In a second year, the students identified anxiety and stress as keeping them from their right to an education. And they developed a community action project called Wellness is for Everyone, where they did a campaign to have kids feel comfortable going to the wellness center, as well as understanding what mindfulness was about and teaching different classes about what mindfulness means to them. So let me just make sure I'm skipping ahead. So what we've done besides having our in-class and after-school rite of passage program, which are all documented on our website and hopefully can be replicated in not only classrooms, but in community forums. We do carry out tri-weekly social media posts on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, where we're hoping to raise awareness to a broad community about how current events are connected to human rights principles and to encourage engagement. We did a program in 2022 with the seniors at Arroyo High School called From Anger to Action, where we had them connect how social advocacy work is connected to human rights. Last year, we did a program in a second grade class called I Am Me and I Am Part of Us to help small kids you understand human rights principles without having to say, this is the UDHR. The students learned how to value themselves as people and also that they were part of a greater community. And they wrote poems, a collective class poem, and created a class mural. And at their culminating presentation, they received a book of their poems as well as a poster of their beautiful mural. We have also done 4 questions at a time where we interview leaders of different nonprofits to showcase their work and also connect their work to human rights so that we can keep making an understanding that the UDHR is not this isolated document, or that human rights education is not just about only human rights, but it sets a standard by which all other efforts can work to achieve what is called for in the UDHR. We have teaching guides that are available for learning about what it means to exercise your right to participate in your government, and even to understand racial justice issues by examining the right to vote. We do monthly newsletters, and we have resources that encourage how to speak up, take action, examine sources, and communicate across complex conversations. And we have a video library of lots of the different productions that have been done by youth and adults to help set examples for the importance of the UDHR, as well as stimulate thinking in other forums about other people's productions. And here, as we get closer to the end, this is an excerpt from the 2017-18 Rite of Passage program, where the young woman presenting her soliloquy, this was part of Unite to Fight for What's Right. And when we started the program, she could barely speak above a whisper. And through the work that we did of learning your rights and picking up from a poem that she had started, here's what she said.
Article 3. Everyone has the right to live, to be free, and to feel safe. Article 4. No one can be put in slavery. I'm a powerful woman. If my blood moves like a red flower that has been removed from a green tree, just like the color of the grass, but a little girl is playing on. Now it's been controlled by the person who took it, but it can always stand up for itself. And just because it's so soft and it smells so good, the person thinks that he has the right to control it and do whatever he wants with it. But no, because he doesn't know that she's strong and can bring out her superpowers and free herself. I'm a powerful woman. I'm a woman who believes in feminism, and I'm a feminist. Socials define feminism as a theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. They also define it as an organizer activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. A feminist defines feminism as a woman who lives the life she chooses. Feminism is the most important movement that we could all embrace on, because it's another word for equality. It's not a word for only women, it's a word for both men and women that leads them to stand for equality and believe for equality. I'm a powerful woman. No matter what we choose to say, believe in, or choose to do in our lives, we are so powerful, strong, beautiful women. Women must have power to defend and protect herself from anything that could break her down. Everyone should respect women and stop treating them like an object. Everyone should work towards changing the horrifying culture. In the Civil War time, women had no right to choose who they want to marry or what they want to do for their lives. Now, our culture must give all rights to women that could protect her from experiencing miserable moments that can't be forgotten. I'm a powerful woman. Men might have muscles that shows how they're physically strong and that they have superpowers that lets them to play any role in society. Women might not have muscles, but we can spread our ideas and make a change in society. We can become leaders. We can be powerful just like as men. I'm a powerful woman. We should not be judged by what we do. We should have the same rights as men and the same respect. We should be able to choose what we want to do. No one should control us or tell us what to do. We deserve to be treated equally, respectfully, and live in peacefully without judgment. I'm a powerful woman. Let's think of women's rights as human rights. Let's make a positive change that could change the society's negative views on women. Let's make everyone believe that women can play a big important role in society. Let's show everyone that women can change things into better. Let's raise our daughters and sons and teach them the right way to define the word feminism. Let's teach them that there's no difference in genders. Everyone can have different power, abilities that should be admired. Let's all live in peace with happiness, respect, and power. I'm a powerful woman.
Sorry. So I hope that you gain some inspiration yourself from these young people's voices, because that's what they had the opportunity to experience, the agency to speak out and the agency to see how they can do something to make a difference. And so here we are just to see that what I briefly introduced. There's Eleanor with her beautiful Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And, you know, the minute actions that we talk about are part of what she said in the 10th anniversary, that where, after all, do human rights begin, but in small places close to home, which is what we've attempted to showcase when we teach about the Universal Declaration. And we believe that it's vital to know about this document. It was meant to be taught everywhere, because without knowledge of it, we can't, as individuals and collectively, carry out what was intended by that document, which was to create a world of peace and peaceful problem solving. The document itself provides a framework. It sets standards for which all other efforts can seek to achieve, so that we know that whether we're working on women's rights or disability rights or the right to marry, that we can track back which of these articles of the UDHR are relevant to it, and how to amplify the fact that any individual action can be shown as what it is doing for furthering human rights. What we have seen is that, especially when young people learn about this, they feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves and something that they can work on together. And we know that belonging is a key factor for all of us to feel engaged. And what I feel strongly about with the UDHR is that it belongs to all of us. It is not just something that is on a shelf, but it is something we all belong to. So I hope with this that you will work with, you know, take part in what we're doing. Use our curriculum. It's on our website. We have video examples of how to use some of our performance tools and activities, the different creative arts that we have. Share our curriculum and resources with others. Sign up for our newsletter so you can be part of our communication loop about different human rights issues. And follow us on social media to help get the word out, not just about the UDHR, but why it's still relevant. So thank you for that. And I will see if I can now stop this. So I will stop the share and be happy if there are any questions or anything else to talk about.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I'm so glad that you shared the video with us, because it's one thing to talk about youth performance and the youth expressing these ideals and these opinions, and a totally other one to actually see it. So thank you. And I know that's hard to do with these PowerPoint presentations, so bravo. Okay, we have a question from Matthew Spano. He says, thank you so much for your important work, exclamation point. Does the world as it could be have exposure and or programs in the Northeast?
Well, we don't have specific exposure in the Northeast. We'd love to. We have in the past presented at different conferences that, you know, the pandemic kind of put a halt to doing things face to face, but we are trying to figure out different ways to present our work in forums like this, where we can have teaching going on online or, you know, virtually, so that we can connect from wherever we are. Our work is totally documented on our website in so many different ways. So we're happy to be available to work with even different classrooms, which we have done. I have, you know, participated in specific classroom instruction in different parts of the country, but we don't have it specifically in the Northeast, but we're open to how that can happen.